Patricia Spears-Jones. I'm a poet and writer. I was at both conferences. I introduced a panel for the first one, and I was on a panel for the second one. Why do I think it? I think any gathering of women of African descent is a good thing, because we don't get a chance to do that, and we certainly don't get a chance to do it often enough as writers. I think that this particular organization's mission and its fact that it's sort of going forward into this new millennium is really, really important, especially, you know, I think about the wonderful Nobel Peace Prize winner who recently died, and the fact that she was the first woman to get a PhD in Kenya, and I think about her struggles to connect both her love of learning and her love of community, and I think that that's what this organization sort of represents as well.
That's great. Can I ask you, do you remember how you felt after you attended one of the ReRe conferences?
It was complicated because I wasn't treated very well at the second one. So that may have something to do with some hierarchy issues, which I think are problematic. And I think I don't know if that has been ironed out or not, but it was, for me, that was very complicated.
Okay.
But I was really pleased to, especially with the first conference, because the panel was on poetry. It was at Poet's House, and we did a damn good job. And I got to introduce Colleen McElroy, who is one of my culture heroines, and Angela Jackson and some other people who are both friends and colleagues. It was just great. So I hope that more of these kinds of things happen, and that the kind of the kind of openness and I don't know how I should put this. I went to Sugati Park a couple of weeks ago, and one of the things that struck me was there was on a beautiful day, so that might have had something to do with it, but was that everybody was working, everybody was doing stuff, there were no leaders, in quotes, because everybody took the responsibility to deal with whatever they had to deal with. And I think that if there's only one problem with all sort of African-based organizations, is this sort of desire for the leader, which makes me realize that way too many people want to be followers, and I do not want to be a follower or a leader. I want to be both.
That's interesting. I wonder, could you say a few words about perhaps your hopes for Black women poets of the 21st century? It's a digital age, an age of technology.
But
do you feel hopeful?
It's always been an age of technology, and I think it's amazing. I think that there are an extraordinary number of women writers, from women in their 20s to women in their 80s who are writing right now. All of us are alive and well, and we need to, I think what we do need to do more of is we need to, I really wish, this is my cultural feminism side coming out, but I wish there was a serious, ongoing Black women's literary review. I really do. And not one that was, that had some issues of peer review and all that, but really and truly where if you write if you write a book of poetry, you know that someone is going to seriously review it. They may love it, they may hate it, but it will actually get a critical assessment. We don't have anything like that. There is nothing out there. And I think that's a real problem for us.
Okay. Yeah. And that's something a community of Black women writers could provide.
Yeah, I think so. I think it would be, there's stuff for the Asians, there's stuff for the Hispanics. We seem to have dropped the ball. I'm not quite sure why we did this, but I know this is also, I'm not against assimilation. I just think that sometimes people assimilate themselves out of whoever they are. You know, and think that someplace else is going to take up the slack, and it doesn't.
It doesn't.
It does not. So there are extraordinary numbers of women who are writing. We're on the foundation. I mean, I just came back from. I'm a senior fellow for the Black Earth Institute, which is a progressive think tank, and I had a discussion. I led a discussion about a proposal that.
Come on, dear. Come on. Okay.
A proposal that didn't get accepted, but I was basing it on June Jordan's wonderful essay at the end of her book called The Civil Wars Essay, and she says in it that after she talks about leadership, that's why I'm thinking about this a lot, you know, that what she thinks that her idea of a leader is every man or woman who looks around and from their own heart, I'm paraphrasing poorly here, you know, decides what they believe and how they want to conduct themselves. And they do it without apology. That was the last phrase, without apology. Mm-hmm. And I think we need to start to not apologize for our gender, our skin color, the broad range of us. I'm originally from Arkansas. I've been living in New York for many years, but the Delta is in my blood, and that we start to meet and greet each other around that understanding that we are as important as every other living being on this planet. We don't do that enough. We don't do that enough.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay.